If you remember the story, early on, Forrest Gump is able to shed those leg braces that he had to wear. Yeah, you get into the story, you forget he even had the leg braces at the beginning. Because at some point, he's able to run at just lightning speeds. This once really frail child gets into college on a football scholarship, of all things. He runs cross country, not one time, not twice, but 3 times. He enlists in the Army. He goes to Vietnam. He receives the Congressional Medal of Honor for heroism. He meets the president several times. He runs a successful shrimp boats business, and the money that he makes from it is invested in Apple stock, so he's set for life financially. Now, you could hear this and you could say, but you know, Dar, that's a fictional story. Yeah, you know, it might be, but in all actuality, what you want to recognize is that any of this could happen to any of us if we were willing to meet life with an X factor of ease. Any of this could happen to us if we were willing to meet life with an X factor of simplicity. Why does it have to be so hard? So when I talk about my friend having a Forrest Gump mentality, I'm not talking about a simpleton. I'm talking about a person who sees life from a very simple point of view. She just sees it as easy. She simply doesn't need the drama. Now, the X factor that my friend brings to the table, the way she faces life, this is her vision. It always works out. That's it. It always works out. I remember she called me one day. This was years and years and years ago. And both she and her husband are millionaires. And she called me one day and she told me that her husband's company was being sued and that they could possibly lose everything if they lost the suit. And I wasn't saying anything. I was just listening to her, but I listened to her long enough to get entangled in the situation that she was telling me. Now, today I wouldn't get entangled. I know not to get entangled. But back then, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking of every negative thing that could possibly happen to them. As she's talking, I didn't say anything. I'm thinking they could lose their homes. They could lose all their money. They would have to stop traveling. They'd have to give up all the luxuries that they expect out of life. And then she said, I'm still in my space. But then she said, in a way that only she could say it, she said, but you know, it all works out. I'll talk to you later, Dar. You know? And so I'm sitting there holding the phone going, what just happened here? What was that? What was that? And what I realized was that what happened was that she told me the situation as it appeared in that moment. She was facing it head on. See? And then she directed the outcome by introducing her X factor, her belief, her vision about the way life works. It always works out. I talked to her about a month later. We were talking. We were having just such a good time on the phone. And just as we were about to hang up, I said, oh, by the way, whatever happened with that lawsuit? She said, oh, it all worked out. Doesn't it always dark? What a lesson. What a teacher. What a lesson. You know what was so beautiful about that? There was no drama. There was no drama whatsoever. There was no story attached to it. It just all worked out. You know, and I think a lot of the drama for many of us is the story that we get to tell afterwards. Oh my God, we almost lost everything. It could have been terrible. We got this close. You know, I mean, think about it. Do we do that? Yeah. I remember years ago I did a moon circle presentation. And I did the book In the Meantime by Ian Levinzant. And she was talking about drama in that book. She was talking about how our stories are so full of drama and how we get to tell that story to the world over and over and over again. So she said, well, that when she realized that she was doing this, when her mother passed away, she told someone, she said, someone asked how her mother was, and she said, well, she passed away. And the person said, oh my God, how did she die? She said, she passed away. No drama. Because that was the outcome, wasn't it? She simply passed away. Now, if we have trouble with what I just said, if you have trouble saying, well, you know, she probably needed to know, I really want you to pay attention to that, because it might just sort of indicate that we need the drama. It all works out. So this person that I'm talking about, you might hear this and you might say, well, you know, she lives a charmed life, but her life is no more charmed than any of our lives. Please hear that this morning. Her life is no more charmed and no different than any of our lives. The only difference is in how she shows up to meet the experiences. That's the difference. How are we showing up? What are we meeting it with? If our X factor is ease and simplicity, like Forrest Gump, then ease and simplicity is what we meet every situation with. And if we meet the situation with ease and simplicity, guess what? We can quantum leap the difficulty and the drama. If our X factor is that it all works out, like my friend's X factor is, then it all works out, is what shows up. That's what has to show up. To others, it appears to be a magical or a charmed life. To us, based on what we know it's the law. The law corresponding to her idea, corresponding to who she knows herself to be. But if our X factor is difficulty and drama, then difficulty and drama becomes a mandate for the law. Difficulty and drama have to be factored into the experience because that's what we expect. That's what we need. What are you bringing to the table? How are you meeting life? Because if that difficulty and drama is what we need, then we maybe even at some level we don't know it, but we hear ourselves at some point saying, why is my life so hard? Why is my life so difficult? Why is there so much drama? You know, the universe has provided us with all these wonderful tools that we can use as our X factor. Tools like love and joy and beauty and harmony and prosperity and health. We know these tools are available to us. We know. How many of you know these tools are available to us? Absolutely. So if these tools are available to us, then why do we keep insisting on the drama? Why are we not using them? You know, it's kind of crazy. You ever watch a TV series like with a medical examiner or something, and you know, the TV series goes on every week, and and so this week the medical examiner is on vacation, right? He goes somewhere on vacation. He walks into the hotel room and opens the closet door and a body falls out. And you say, what are the odds? Okay. So, you know, and I laugh at that when these things happen. I said, well, I guess the star needed to get out of the regular scene this week. But but it's kind of crazy in a TV series. But it's very real in real life, because in real life, whatever it is that we're involved in, we're going to experience it over and over and over again. And it doesn't matter whether we're at home, whether we're at work, or whether we're at play. It's like Horace says, it'll come in through the back door.